In my mom's last 2 years of her life, she had a selfish affair and had me as a result. This remained a secret that was only revealed to my dad 2 years later when she was dying and I was just a baby. A horrific deathbed confession revealed this to my brothers and dad. I have only a vague memory of that time, but I was moved to my grandparents for a year. I eventually went back to live with my 3 older brothers and dad. My biological dad had no interest. I guess my grandparents convinced my dad to take me in so that I could have a relationship with my siblings. However, this resulted in a really bizarre childhood to me because no one told me I was an affair baby, as everyone assumed someone else had the talk with me. It's like I was physically there but rarely acknowledged. I had soccer games, but my friend always took me and my dad, and brothers didn't show. My dad didn't ask to look at my grades despite checking on my brothers constantly. My birthday parties were usually held at my grandparents' house, or he just ordered pizza instead of taking me to a restaurant. I always suspected that I was treated differently because I was a girl. The thing that threw me off was that every year on my mom's death anniversary, my brothers and dad would cry and talk about the wonderful times they had. I only found out about this when I was 12 and got my first period and ruined the couch, and I was called Mom's mistake by my older brother. I pressed the issue and eventually we all sat down in the kitchen to talk about it. I wish I could say we cried and stuff, but it was just a matter-of-fact family conversation where they told me the truth. I was super red-faced, but it actually made everything make sense. For the record, I was always given clothes and food and shelter, and I was never physically hurt. The best way I could describe my family is disinterested in my presence. My maternal grandma always looked after me and made sure that I got extra love. She tried to encourage my brothers to treat me well, and we played nice with each other around her, but she was terrified for my future after she was gone and ended up putting all of her inheritance in my hands to make sure I was taken care of. But she also included instructions to help my siblings if I had extra money. To this day, I received approximately $650,000 that is in a trust fund, but my siblings and dad do not know about the actual sum and think it's a few thousand for college. My siblings are all taking out debt for college. My dad is helping them as much as he can, but they will still be thousands in debt. I calculated that I could give them just a third of the money and keep them debt-free, but I don't want to. I feel like this money is my only safety net if I get kicked out at 18th birthday in a couple of years. Am I the idiot for not sharing the inheritance or even telling my siblings about it? Not the idiot. Keep the money and keep your mouth closed about it. Letting them know would make things worse. Smile to yourself and say nothing. Your grandparents did this for you out of love. You weren't a mistake to them, and you aren't a mistake now. They helped ensure you would have a good start in adulthood, and they wanted the best for you. Rock on! This needs repeating over and over again in every single inheritance or sudden windfall situation. Shut up about your money. Tell no one about it, possibly forever, but until you are on very secure footing in dealing with the money yourself. Also, I doubt the grandmother would have left those instructions if she knew how cold and cruel the brothers were, OP. In the post, OP says they played nice around grandma. You are not the idiot. Your grandmother's instructions say if you have extra money. You don't know how much extra you'll have until you're done with college. It's very likely you'll get kicked out at 18, or your dad will make you get a job and pay rent. Use the money to get you through college debt-free and without the stress of a full-time job. Then, when you're done and have a good job, share whatever's left. They have a father who will help them out for the rest of their lives. I do not think that you have the same. Me, 25 female, and my husband, 33, have been together for 2 years. Met at work and started dating. He's technically my boss. It's a small company and I get along with everybody. My husband is super protective, and lately he's been saying that he doesn't like the way this one co-worker acts around me. I get along with the co-worker, but nothing more. I've never noticed or done anything inappropriate. Yesterday, my husband started acting weird after he saw me talking to the guy, barely talking to me, ignoring me. We get home from work, I get changed and go for a run. I come back and find my husband burning my clothes. And he didn't burn all of my clothes, just some tops he told me in the past that he didn't like because they show too much skin. He said that he's told me to stop wearing them and I didn't listen, so that's what I get. He said he knows I'm trying to seduce the co-worker and that he's not going to let that happen. I'm very professional and I know there was nothing inappropriate about those tops. Even if there was, why does he get to decide what I wear and burn my clothes? I'm so mad at him. What would you do in this situation? This insane jealousy will only get worse, I suspect. Do you have a support system in case it gets worse or you decide to leave? Friends and or family nearby? It can really help to get others' input about the situation as well, from people that know both of you. His behaviour is totally unacceptable. Protective is just a nice way of saying controlling. He thinks he can tell you what to wear, who you're allowed to talk to, and gets to burn your clothes to punish you if you don't listen? That's insane. The guy who at 31 years old hooked up with a 23-year-old working below him is creepy and controlling. Who would have thought? Also, OP, I would urge you to tell your family and friends. Your husband will isolate you, and the more you endure, the more ashamed you are to talk to people, so you just eventually keep it all inside. Don't hide these behaviors because they make him look bad. It's only hurting you. Your friends and family will want the best for you and will help you. Plus, if you keep it a secret, he'll know he has the power, so he will feel less and less afraid to behave in such an awful way. When I, 27 female, was little, my parents divorced. It was a messy thing, no one ever told me the reason, and I do not really care. My mom won custody because she was able to prove in court that my father was an unfit parent. My father never took it well, and it showed whenever I had visitation at his house, 2 weekends a month. Instead of spending time with me, he would spend hours playing video games, order takeout, and the only time he would take me somewhere was when my grandma forced him. Needless to say, I never had a very close relationship with him. Then once I got older, he started to bring up a college fund he had set aside for me, and he always said that if my grades stayed up and I do well in school, the money would be mine, and I did just that. I got good grades, was part of many clubs in school, and never got into trouble. I was basically the kid your parents brought up when they were comparing you to your friends. In my senior year, my dad got married to his current wife. It was a beautiful and extravagant ceremony. I'm pretty sure some of the arrangements were more expensive than my phone, but whatever, I didn't think much of it. It wasn't until I went to talk to my dad about my college fund that I found out he had used it to pay for his ceremony. I was in disbelief when he said it, and the more he explained, the more I wanted to cry. He didn't even apologize. He said it with all causality of, "Oh, you were looking for that thing you left in the fridge. Sorry, I ate it." When he realized that I was upset, he turned it around on me and told me that I was being selfish and that I was not entitled to his money. Luckily, got scholarship that covered my entire tuition. Also, my mom and stepdad also had a fund set aside for me. They apparently knew my dad would pull that on me, so I was able to go to college without a lot of debt. Since then, I've been distant from my dad, I'll not lie. I feel conned. If the money was always his, why did he bother mentioning it to me? I don't care if he used it or not, but to promise someone something, hold it over their head for years, and not give it to them when you should because they're not entitled to it, is just a way too lengthy way to say that you're an unreliable loser, in my eyes. My dad has tried to reconcile, but he still claims that I wasn't entitled to that money, and even says that the money wasn't needed because I got a scholarship. The last time he said that to me was when I was at his house, visiting my new baby brother, and I got so annoyed that I said, "I'm not entitled to your money, but you're also not entitled to a relationship with me, so I guess we're in a stalemate here." I guess that hurt him because he got quiet until I left. I've been remembering what I said for a while, so I wonder if I was way too out of line in my statement. I was annoyed and wanted him to stop bringing it up, but I didn't want to hurt him. You are not wrong at all. He had a tuition fund that he told you would be yours, then turned around and wasted it. Sure, you don't have a legal right to it. I don't know for certain what the law is where you are, but here it's his money. But that doesn't mean he's not the idiot for doubling back on his promise. Cut him out. You don't owe him anything. You are not the idiot. 1. He was the one who brought it up and gave you the expectation. 2. Your mom already knew he would pull something like this. 3. He was an unfit parent based on your representation of him. He is an idiot who is trying to gaslight you into thinking you're the entitled one, especially when he spent it on a ceremony that was 1 day. You are not wrong. He made a verbal contract with you and ignored it. He should have told you that he was using that money. He should have at least apologized for not telling you the deal was off. At least. Parents will gloat in various degrees about their kids' achievements, sometimes rightly so. Make sure he doesn't take any credit. His wife better not let him have any access to the new baby's college fund. Wonder if she knew where extra funds came from. My fiancé and I have been together for 4 years and we got engaged about a month ago. Our relationship has been great. He was always kind to me and made me feel special and loved. Although we've had some small conflicts from time to time, we've always been able to understand each other and communicate effectively. I always felt he was obsessed with my younger sister. To be honest, I've always been jealous of my sister. She's much more attractive than I am. She's slim, tall, has long blonde hair, beautiful blue eyes and a beautiful face. I, on the other hand, am just ordinary. I know looks aren't everything, but I want to be pretty too. I wear a lot of makeup and try so hard to make myself look good, but she's 3 times prettier than me without even trying. She just sits on the couch eating junk food and playing video games all day and stays super pretty. Around a few months ago, I noticed that my fiancé liked my sister's pictures on Facebook. I didn't think much about it there and then, but I was aware that something was fishy. 3 days ago, my fiancé invited my sister over to play a new co-op game. Coincidentally, we ran out of groceries, so I went out to buy some. When I came back, I couldn't believe my own eyes when I found them cuddling and kissing on the couch. I lost my temper and stormed at them as I screamed. They let go of each other as soon as they saw me and asked me to calm down. I've had that suspicion for a long time and it turned out to be true. I told my fiancé that we were over and that I never wanted to see him again while I walked out of the house crying. My sister followed me and tried to comfort me while I cried, but I was angry. My fiancé tried to text me saying that he loves me and that he would never cheat on me, but I blocked him on all social media. I have nowhere else to stay, so I'm currently living with my parents and sister. I've been trying to avoid my sister, but she keeps trying to apologize and start conversations with me. She says she feels extremely guilty and that she'd never want to hurt my feelings. I had a talk with my sister this morning. I asked her if there was anything going on between her and my ex-fiancé, and she broke down in tears. She admits that they had been intimate with each other several times over the past few weeks, but she says she turned him down every time he asked her. She apologized constantly while crying, and I told her to leave me alone. She wants to make up to me, but I don't know if I should forgive her or not. How do I handle this? If you're not going to forgive your fiancé, you should absolutely not be forgiving your sister. Betrayal is betrayal, doesn't matter who the person is. Bad news is your personal romantic and family relationships are messed up because of what other people have done to you, not because of anything you've done. Good news is you know exactly who you shouldn't be including in your life going forward. I don't have any advice on the logistics of what to do other than to get out of both your home with your fiancé and your home with your sister ASAP. Return the ring if you haven't already. In most states, the ring is not a gift traditionally and is a sign of an agreement for marriage. The marriage isn't going on anymore and the ring is his property. Best to just part with it and then go no contact. Wow, this is a mess. At least you didn't marry this idiot, and I would be mad that your sister let this keep happening. I mean, she had to turn him down several times. She should have given you the heads up. Luckily, you are still young and didn't waste decades with this guy. It'll hurt now, but after a while you'll find someone truly deserving of you. I would remove yourself from your sister. I couldn't stand living with someone like that. First off, your fiancé is trying to gaslight you. He obviously got caught in the act and now is nervous. Secondly, wow, she sounds like such a pathetic witch. Even if you live with her, block her on your phone, delete her on all social media, and tell her that there is no fixing what she's done. She has shown that she lacks the most basic forms of human decency. Have you told your parents yet? If your sister is the golden child, she may get favoured treatment, but if it's pretty fair, I would tell them what's happened. My daughter is 20 years old, going to be 21 in a few months, and is not going to college or working at the moment. I've tried to help her get through the years with plans on going to college, and she just completely refused to. She doesn't want to go to trade school either. She has gone through 9 jobs. However, things have to change around the house. It's becoming ridiculous. We pay for everything she has. Her food, her phone, her car, and she is so irresponsible with money. When she has money, she blows it on things she doesn't need. She hasn't had a job since December. We are going to be in the process of fixing up the house for sale, and it's expensive. A lot of things need repairing. This house is only 6 years old. The damage is honestly mainly caused by her and cats. She has mental issues that she refuses to get treated. She's on our health insurance and has a car and the option to get help but refuses. We have had it. We try helping her, she gives us smart answers and doesn't listen. She doesn't want help. We told her that she needs to have a job by June the 1st or she's out. Also, when she has a job, she needs to start kicking in for rent, which would be about $300 a month, plus $50 for car insurance and her share of the phone bill. We will use some of that money towards house repairs, but we didn't tell her that. She started yelling, saying she will have no money left then. I said, that's why we suggested getting a skill or going to college, which you don't want to do. By living minimum wage, you will essentially be living paycheck to paycheck with very little spending money. It's time to grow up and act like an adult. She doesn't think it's fair that she has to use most of her paychecks to pay rent, car insurance, and her part of the phone bill. My husband thinks she needs to get her own place and take the cats, and that would solve everything, but he's not willing to pay for an apartment for her, and honestly, neither am I. So she can get a job, pay us, and follow our rules, or she can get out and go live somewhere else. I feel like it's cruel, but we are getting sick of her not doing anything with her life and leeching off of us. You are not the idiot. Our job as parents is to support, but at some point the child needs to be the mature adult. Charging rent is very reasonable, as is expecting help around the house. Sometimes the best help a parent can offer is to push the child out of the nest. A bit of real life does wonders to help one grow up. More info needed. You casually mention she has mental issues, which set off an alarm for me. Was she diagnosed at a young age? Are they the reason your daughter has not been able to hold on to a job? Will these issues get in the way of her being independent? Are the cats used as emotional support animals for her? Kicking her out without resolving this is non-productive. I would refuse to pay for her car and phone unless she was willing to get professional help. She has borderline personality disorder and she was diagnosed last year. She's always been an incredibly difficult and problematic child. Punishments didn't work with her, such as groundings and taking everything away. She didn't care. Trying to have a normal, calm conversation with her doesn't work either, because if you say something she doesn't like, she flips out and throws a tantrum. Even to this day, she refuses to seek mental treatment because she doesn't want to. Honestly, you are the idiot. You've had 21 years to raise her right and help her get her feet under her, which was your job as parents. You could have gotten her help back when she was a kid, right? And so on. Now, having failed in your job, you're expecting her to radically change her entire personality in a short time. Not happening. Kick her out if you want, it's your house. But don't pretend that it's all on her.